Hey, it's me. I know we haven't talked in a while, but I miss you.
Walking away feeling empty, I'm on my toes again. Light a cigarette in the backseat and tell my friends I'm not going back. And I can't imagine a life where we turned out better than what we have. Stuck in a mess, I can't get my head straight, but I'll be texting you again. On my own, my life is so easy, but I can't let go of something that made me whole.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of A Wee Touch of Madness, the podcast hosted every single week by me, Loz, the supposed funny man, as I've been called once by myself in my head. Anyway, today I am joined by Sam, who goes by the stage name Savings. You're right, mate. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Genuinely, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate the opportunity. Love what you're doing, so it's a privilege to be here.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, have you seen any of my episodes before?
I've been doing a little deep dive before you reached out to me, or in between when you reached out to me and whatnot. So I'm a fan, and you're across the pond, so it's cool to link up with somebody.
So you have a general idea of what this show's about then?
A little bit, yeah.
That's going to take some of the surprise out.
You're good, bro. You're chilling.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the music that you do to the people out there who may not be aware of who it is, of who you are, and what you deliver?
Yeah, of course, man. So as stated, my name is Sam. I go by the stage name Savings. I've been making music under the stage name Savings for about a year and a half now. And I didn't originally make like alternative rock sort of music. I started off with like indie pop and hip hop sort of stuff. And then slowly just graduated towards like where my roots are kind of planted in terms of like what I was raised on and things like that. But I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, so a good ways away from Lawrence. But nonetheless, I'm very grateful for what I do, and the opportunities that kind of come my way have just been taken as they come. So
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque, New Mexico,
See,
my friend.
as soon as you said Albuquerque, all I had in my head then straight away was that Weird Al Yankovic song Albuquerque. That's all I had in my head straight away.
Yeah,
What the
fuck? We're not known for much, bro. We're not known for much.
But you're known for your bear claws.
This is true. That and Breaking Bad. So
That and Breaking Bad.
yeah.
So
Yes, sir.
how did this whole thing come about then with you doing music?
Well, I've been writing music. It's actually been longer than 3 years. I originally made like my first song my senior year of high school, I believe. Absolutely awful. I will not be sharing that with anybody. But I've always just kind of like grew up on music, and like I didn't have much of a place or an outlet to like kind of vent my emotions as a child, just because of my home life and like my situations and whatnot. So music has always been like a place where I could go, and as cliche as it sounds, it's always put words to emotions that I probably didn't quite understand. So being able to relate to somebody that may or may not have been going through the same thing was always like a safe space for me.
Yeah.
And then I am like a people person, so like I love like being there for my
I'm not.
friends. And yeah, that's okay, man. That's
Probably
okay, bro.
shouldn't say that when I host a podcast, but no, I'm not a people person.
No, honesty's great, bro. But yeah, like once I kind of put two and two together, I was like, well, I love being there for my friends, and I love being there for my family, and I love music. So how can I do that through my music and maybe reach people that I wouldn't like necessarily meet on like a personal, like daily basis, and do that for the people that have been doing it for me the whole time, if that makes sense. So I just kind of like wanted to make that, how should I say it, like make that same step forward and be able to be there for those who. I shouldn't say fans, but like make that personal connection with someone through like some headphones, like on the way to school, or whether it be like on your work break or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I get. I get where you're coming from there.
Yeah. I feel like I word vomited, but it's cool.
Yeah, that's all right. So when you first messaged me, I'd actually started taking a listen to your music around about then, and just so everybody out there is aware, every person that messages me, I actually do listen to your music. I'm not one of
Yeah.
these that says, "Oh no, yeah, I'll take a listen and not do it." I actually will listen to it. There's no need to keep nagging me and reminding me every 6 months. I will get round to it. And I was listening to it when I first listened to your music. I was a little bit surprised. I was just like, "Oh, hello, okay, I can see where this guy is going." And then we check out a bit more. Oh, this is
Yeah.
actually pretty damn good stuff. Yeah, and then I started listening more and more and more. In fact, I picked out a couple of favorites. I hope November hurts for you no more. For you too, sorry. That I
Yeah.
like that one. Addict, I really like that one because the beat behind that was just like woof, like there, and you were just like
Yeah.
just jamming along to it without even fucking realizing you were jamming. And Lovely Place Bittersweet, I like that one. That was one of my favorites as well.
Thanks, man. Yeah, those are it's weird, bro, because I know we had prior conversation, but I like originally started making like indie pop music, and that's because I just gone through a breakup and I was listening to a lot of Laney, a lot of like Jeremy Zucker, Chelsea Cutler, and like Quinn 92 and those guys, if you know who they are. Um,
No,
and yeah, you're good. Don't stress it. I'm sure someone does who's listening. Um, but I just started making music like that, and then I kind of like found out that I was like almost just trying to like please other people and like what I make and like what I create. But I've like grown up on Blink 182, Green Day, a
there
lot
we
of
go.
Rage Against the
Blink
Machine.
182
Yeah,
been mentioned. There we go. Now we're going
yeah.
to start that counter. Thank you very much. That's yeah,
uh,
great.
but I grew up on like all these like early 2000s like Warped Tour artists, man, and I like have always loved them. I always thought like this scene was like too hard to break into, or you had to like fit a certain mold. I just thought that I could never fit that. So, Lovely Place, Bittersweet, like Addict, and like November, and all those songs were kind of like almost after I got my foot planted in that sound, and I was like, okay, this is what I want to do, and I want to make like not just pop punk music, but like make it my own. So, um, Addict was like the first one that I really pulled a lot of influence from like early Blink, and um, as oddly as it sounds, like Weezer, stuff like that.
Oh, I love
So
Weezer.
so do I, man. I cover a lot of their songs at shows. So nonetheless, thank you, and I appreciate you actually like enjoying what I make. It's a cool feeling. So
Now, if any of you at home, either watching this on YouTube or listening to this on Spotify, if you haven't heard those songs, then I definitely suggest that you do. And I definitely suggest that you check out this guy's music because not only will you enjoy it, you will be blown away by the sheer talent that this guy has shown in his music. I mean, I was blown away, and you will be too, and I promise you that. And if I'm wrong, let me know. I'll tell you that you're wrong, and your opinion doesn't matter. But so, what are your plans musically for this year then? Like when you're continuing to make music?
well, I have a EP coming out in March. It's called A Day of Love and a Year of Heartbreak. Um, Second week of March is going to come out, but before that, I have a single dropping. It's the last single off of the project. It's called Devil's Daughter. Uh, and then after that, just continue to kind of drop singles and probably put out another project before the end of the year, just like maybe like a 4 or 5 song EP, something simple. It's easy to digest. But aside from just like music, we've been doing shows here in town for a lot. I have like 6 shows coming up, and then we will start doing out of state shows. So in like Arizona, California, Colorado, Utah, places like that. Just trying to like network and make connections out there and just like meet new fans and whatnot. But biggest thing we have this year is just planning out a tour for the fall. So we're gonna do a little West Coast tour after we hit all these cities that we're going to. So that's the year, man. Is just to keep staying consistent, continue to put out like a song a month, and a project in the meantime. So,
Any plans to tour in the UK?
dude, it would be that would be insane. One day, I know that I'll make it out there, and it would be a lot of fun.
But when you
For the
do,
meantime,
let me know. I expect a VIP ticket, backstage, the full works. I expect to be there.
yeah, I got you, bro. No question. No question, bro.
You can't go back on it now because it's recorded. It's out there. It's out there in the public domain. You can't go back on your word now.
Once the flyer comes out, you can just send me like a recording from this little part of the podcast.
Just
And
that
I'll make sure to
snippet.
get your ticket.
Just
Yeah,
that snippet going. But see, remember what you promised me.
exactly, exactly, bro.
So, what are the actual influences that got you into making music? Like, besides you mentioned Blink 182 and Weezer, but the influences, like personal influences, that got you into music.
Um, Mac Miller has been like a huge thing for me, and I know that's like outside of the genre that I make, but um, I grew up on him, man. That's like why I fell in love with music. I don't know if you're familiar with a lot of his works, but the Kids mixtape, for those who are listening, I heard that when I was probably in like seventh grade, and I was like, dang, like I could like relate to a lot of this stuff, but also I don't know. He was just like a goofy individual who also had feelings, and he was just a human, and he wasn't afraid to show that. Sorry, I got to see his progress over time, and like how he was able to almost like shift his image, but also stay true to himself. And like I thought that was super inspiring for me. But then also in the back burner, still be the same like goofy dude the whole time. And then his, I don't know, just like his vulnerability really spoke to me in the sense that I was like I said, able to relate to like a lot of what he was saying, um, and then carry that into my own musical journey. And obviously, I'm not making hip hop or like things of that nature, but the reasons, or like one of the reasons that I'm so vulnerable is because of him and like what he's done for me. So like to double back to what we were saying is like I want to be able to do that for somebody else.
Yeah.
So
See,
definitely Mac Miller.
I've heard of Mac Miller, but I've never actually listened or heard or any of his music. So
Yeah,
I can't really relate to what you're saying there because I've not actually heard it. But
yeah,
I know of him, but I've never heard of him. If you know what I mean.
yeah. Yeah, no, 100%, man. I
Yeah.
would recommend my favorite album by him is probably either Good AM, you should check that out, or Watching Movies with the Sound Off. One of my favorite albums like ever.
Who the
Um,
fuck watches movies with the sound? Oh, you were saying album. I thought you were actually making an
yeah,
actual comment there. Or something. Who the fuck
no, no,
watches
no,
movies with the sound off?
no. That's the album name. It's phenomenal, man. Like through and through, no skips. Like you can listen to it. It's just like a body of art. So super cool album, man. But yeah, Mac Miller, and then like obviously in the pop punk scene, I had mentioned Blink 182, which I know is like super cliche of like any pop punk artist, but regardless, um,
Yep.
yeah, Blink 182, man. I love the story so far. I am a big fan of modern baseball. RIP. Love those dudes so much. And then the Wonder Years. I love the Wonder Years. They played a lot into like how I write my music now. Um, the list goes on, man. But
The list goes
more or
on.
less, yeah. I love the Chili Peppers too, man. I love the Chili Peppers.
See, now that is one I don't think has actually been mentioned on this show throughout the entire, throughout all the episodes that I've done. I don't think that one has been mentioned yet. The Red Hot Chili Peppers. I might be wrong. Someone let me know, but I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure that one hasn't been mentioned. And that's a good one because I like Red Hot Chili Peppers. I grew up listening to them, so
yeah, man.
yeah, I like them.
So yeah, definitely them. I mean, that was just stuff my dad raised me on, like the Chili Peppers, Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Incubus, like just a lot of like late '90s, early 2000s like rock. So
When music was music.
exactly, bro. Yeah, truly.
So, if there was someone you could do a collaboration with on a song, on a track, on a project, who would you most love to do a collaboration with? And if you don't mention me because you've heard I'm such a great singer, then I will be very disappointed. No pressure.
We can make something, bro. I don't know. Like I think in terms of like smaller artists that are actually attainable, I'd say there's a artist that goes by Titus, and he's kind of just doing pretty well for himself now. He's starting to get pretty big. He has a Kellen Quinn feature that's like going to be pretty dope. So that's like more obtainable in that realm. But I would love to work with like Ben from Neck Deep, or the story so far. I don't know, dude. There's like so many that I could think of. A controversial one that you're probably not gonna like is MGK. I love MGK. I know. Give me the eye rolls. Do all you want, man.
Oh, motorboat
And
Barbie.
but I will say that I have been supporting him for like since forever. So like being able to see him like transfer into this new genre is like super cool. Yeah, that would be a dream.
I've only
Or
listened to one MGK song in my life, only one. And the
yeah.
only reason why I listened to it was because it was in one of a video game I was playing, Saints Row 4.
Okay.
That was the only one that I heard. Warning shot.
Yeah, I know exactly what song you're talking about.
It was the only song I heard because it was on Saints Row 4. I was doing a mission on there, like playing around with all the superpowers, like beating up aliens and shit. And then suddenly it came on, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm beating up aliens while I was listening to this. That actually kind of fits." Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
But that's the only song
yeah.
I've ever heard from Machine Gun Kelly.
It's not bad, bro. I mean, he's making like pop punk sort of music now. And he's working with like Travis Barker and everything, which again I know how that sounds, but his last album, Tickets to My Downfall, was phenomenal. And like as much as people don't want to admit, I'll say it, is like he's brought it back to semi being mainstream again, in my opinion.
Okay.
Obviously, all of these like smaller artists, especially from the UK, dude. I know that pop punk has like been still booming for forever. As far as the United States go and like radio play and like what's popular over here, it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was till like 2020 that it actually became like huge again.
Yeah, pop punk
Not,
never died over here in the UK. It never died.
dude. I talk about that with all my homies so much. I like find a new band, and like they're phenomenal, and it's like pop punk or like Midwest emo or something, and I'm like, where are these dudes from? And then I check it out, and it's like somewhere in the UK, and I'm like, of course, like that makes sense, right?
Yeah. Now, one thing I've got to ask though, right? I've already asked this before with a Canadian artist that I had on the show, but I'm gonna ask you, what is it with people in North America, and the United States, and Canada, and all that? What is it with all of you saying "homie"?
Homie, have I said it this podcast?
Yes, you have. You literally just said it like
Uh,
not even 30 seconds ago.
dang, I don't know, dude. I guess it's just a part of my it's just a part of my lingo.
You said, and I quote, "I was talking to my homies about this band, and they were from the UK."
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I think it's just like that's just a part of like my vocabulary. I've just said it growing up. I mean, maybe it's like I don't think it's an Albuquerque or like New Mexico thing by any means, or maybe it is. I'm just not aware of it, but I don't know. That's just like what I call. That's what I call my friends. Those are my homies. I don't think I have any like specific answer for
I
it.
definitely don't think it's an Albuquerque thing because I've heard people from Albuquerque now, from California, from the
Yeah.
east coast of America to Canada, all say homie, and I just want to know why. What's wrong with saying like I was talking to my friends or I was talking to my mates or something like that? I mean, I know
I
over
don't
here in
know.
the UK we say bro a lot, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you guys also say mates, so I
we
mean,
also we
I,
also say cunt
this is true.
when we're talking with affection towards someone and go, "Oh, you're right, you cunt."
I don't know, man. I don't think I have an answer for it. I think it's just what I say. It's like it's just in my dictionary.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, can you explain to me and to the people out there what your creative process is like when you're creating your music? When you get the idea in your head to the conception to when you finally get it out there to the people to listen to.
um, One, I think it's got to be honest, dude. I'm not a big fan of listening to music that just doesn't sound like it's actually from the heart. And like I think, and maybe you can relate to this, but I can tell like when a song's written and like someone's kind of just like bullshitting me. I'm like, you probably don't really feel this, like you haven't been through this, like X, Y, and Z. And I'm not in the place to be like you haven't, but I think you can kind of tell and like make your gesture on it. But I always just want to start from like an honest and vulnerable spot, bro. So like anything that I've written about comes from like something that I've been through or like something that I feel like I'm gonna go through, or I take a lot of inspo from like something that like my friends may be going through or like that I get to have like a really close perception of. So all of it starts there, my man. And then most of the time I will just like try to acapella something in my car, find a melody, and then jot down some like BS lyrics and then come back to it later. After maybe I've processed my emotions fully.
Yeah.
But more or less, that's where it starts. And then as far as like the music goes, dude, it's just finding something that really fits that emotion as well. So being able to find like any sort of like lead line or like guitar riff that like my guitarist may play, or I may just bring something to like rehearsals and be like, hey, this is what I have. What can we do with this? And then we all kind of like work around that. So
Maybe you could do a song about me and my feelings then, about how amazingly godlike I am. That's
I'll
how
do
I
it, dude.
that's how I feel pretty much every day I wake up. You know, not to blow my own trumpet, but I mean, come on, you know,
Nah, dude, toot your own horn, dude. Do your thing.
I'll toot my own horn. I'll toot my own horn all the live long day. My wife won't toot my horn, but I'll toot my horn.
um, yeah, man. I mean, I think that's like more or less like the root of it all. But my music or like what I put out most of the time is like a kind of a reflection of what I listen to a lot. Or it's the exact opposite. But most of the time, it's like I've been listening to like a lot of Sleeping with Sirens, or like Bring Me the Horizon and stuff like that. And then I'll like make something that's a little bit more fast paced and a little bit more in your face. Or like I'll listen to a lot of like the Wonder Years or Modern Baseball, and then all of a sudden I'm writing an acoustic track.
Yeah.
That's much more vulnerable. So I don't know, man. It kind of just depends on like what I'm listening to in my car or like on my way to work or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, where can the people at home, if they're watching this on YouTube or if they're listening to this on Spotify whilst they're cleaning their kitchen or scrubbing their toilet or whatever, if they're just leaving it playing in the background, where can they connect with you online if they want to drop in and say hi, or if they want to, just to follow you in general?
Yeah, man. So on all platforms, it's just Yes I'm Savings. So YESIM Savings, like a bank account. Um, Same thing, same handle on all the platforms. But if you just want to find me on like Spotify or Apple Music or SoundCloud or whatever, it's just Savings. So
Well, there you go, everybody. And if you didn't catch that for some reason, I don't know why, because that was very clear, crystal clear, very easy to understand this time round. If you didn't catch that, obviously, as per the usual, the tags will be floating around somewhere on the screen or at some point during the episode. I'll figure that bit out in post-production. Haven't decided where yet. And if you still haven't caught that, I will also have those links down in the description below, so you can definitely check it out. And like I said, I highly suggest that you do check this guy out. So, what is the message you would like to give your fans out there?
just feel your emotions, dude. Play it out. I think you owe it to yourself to be able to heal if you need to heal. But ignoring your emotions is just coming out of an ignorant spot, in my opinion. Um, and you are worth more to make sure that you do take care of those things. And whether it be coping in a variety of ways, because we're all different people, but just feel your emotions, man. And if that means you listen to music, whether it be mine or somebody else's, just do it and talk to someone and like know that there's like not a weakness in that, and that there's a lot of strength that comes from being vulnerable and having those conversations. So just make sure you feel yourself out and make sure you have those emotions coming into play. Don't let them influence what you do, but definitely listen to them and understand why you have them. And that's probably the best option that I can give people.
Wow, that was really deep and a little bit confusing as well, because when you said all that, I didn't know if you were talking to me directly or talking to your fans, because a lot of that I'm like, yeah, actually this guy's right. I should probably change some shit about.
You're good, bro. I mean, I still struggle with it myself. So, but we're all human, man. We all still have to make it across those hurdles and like just course correct as we go through life. So,
Well, I'm far too English to let anything get over me. So long as my teacup is full, I'm happy.
of course, bro.
Right, I'm going to ask you a funny random question. Now, I've actually got the question saved on my phone, so if people is seeing that, watching this and going, "Why is he on his phone? Why is that jackass on his phone?" That's why, because I've actually got the question on my phone.
Got you.
Right. What would you rather throw away, love or money?
Money.
Money? Okay.
Um, I don't know, man. I feel like I could have all the money in the world, but I mean, as cliche as this sounds too, but like you can have all the money in the world, have all the things you want, and if like you don't have anybody around you to like share that with, or like love, or like for them to love on you, then you've got nothing, dude. I mean, you can't spend every waking moment by yourself. And I know you said that you're not a people person. I am, but I would be much happier with not a whole lot of money and a lot of people around me that care about me and I care about them.
Yeah, I'd go the whole Ebenezer Scrooge sort of thing. You know, give me all the fucking money. Fuck everybody else off. Give me the money.
Oh man, I love people too much to be just kicking people to the curb. But I respect your opinion. I do.
I mean, if I had money, I could buy, better podcasting equipment.
It's true. I mean, I could do a lot of things with a lot of money, but I can't do a lot of things without like friends and family that like love me and like take care of me, and I take care of them. So I don't know. There's two ways to look at it, bro. It's very easy to go both ways for sure.
Fair enough. Okay, I quite like that answer. I don't like that answer, but I quite like that answer. So, okay, we'll leave it there. We'll agree to disagree on that one, shall we?
That's cool, my friend.
So we are now coming up to the halfway point, and you mentioned before we started recording that the song you want to promote the fuck out of was "Lovely Place, Bittersweet." So we're going to play that song at the halfway point. But before we do, can you tell us the story and the message behind that song?
Yeah, of course, man. So I kind of had been waiting to write this song for a long time, or at least one that I felt like was going to portray the story well enough. But I got into a relationship in 2018, and it was very off and on for a long time. And I absolutely loved this woman, and I like would do anything for her, and almost became a very unhealthy position for myself, like mentally. But it was just off and on, and like when things were good, things were really good, but when things were bad, things were very, very bad. But being in that bad position was almost worth it if I could still get just like a tiny glimpse of like the good parts. So I stuck around for a very long time. Henceforth, the title is like I'm sitting in a lovely place, feels like hell, hurts like heaven, treats me well, only treated me well a small portion of the time. And obviously, I'm human, I have my own flaws, but I lived for those small portions of that relationship.
So she was like, in a way, she was kind of like a drug. It knew it was
Exactly.
bad, but gave you such an incredible high, but you knew it was bad for you.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. And all respect to this woman, like I owe her a lot. So nothing but love for her. Like we're still friends and whatnot. But yeah, that's what the song's about.
We're not going to mention any names. You know, we're not going to mention any names.
Of course.
So
yeah, of course. I just wanted to make sure I said that.
But if you are listening to this, you know, there's no dig on you or whatever. We're not going to mention any names, so don't worry.
Yeah, of course, man. I hear you. But yeah, man, that's kind of where the song came from, and I've been waiting to write a song about it for like such a long time. That really like captivated that almost 3-year window of my life.
Yeah.
So once I wrote this, I was like, okay, I think this is gonna get the job done, and I think that in between like the very heavy hitting chorus and like the opening pre-choruses and whatnot, then dialing back down to like the lower tone voices and like the emotion in that, I think it showed a good contrast of like the really high highs and then the really low lows. So that's like that's where that came from. So
Okay, well, that was definitely a very good explanation for that. So I'm going to play the song for everybody at home like now. So you let me know what you think, what your thoughts are on the song. Either let me know down in the comments or YouTube, or leave me a voice message through Spotify. The link for the Spotify one will be down in the description as well, so you can do that. So here it is, Lovely Place, Bittersweet. Let us know what you think.
dabbing in my own mind. I don't really wanna get it. I don't think you understand all the things you say. And if you really wanna talk, then it's not my business where or when or what you'll do to me. I know just how you act, so right here is where I'll be.
I'm sitting in a lovely place, feels like hell, hurts like heaven treats me well. Lovely place, I'm sitting in a lovely place. I'm sitting in a lovely place, feels like hell, hurts like heaven treats me well. Lovely place, I'm sitting in a lovely place. I'm sitting in a lovely place, feels like hell, hurts like heaven treats me well. Lovely place, I'm sitting in a lovely place. I'm sitting in a lovely place, feels like hell, hurts like heaven treats me well. Lovely place, I'm sitting in a lovely place.
You are my drug, yet I want a choice. Spent 3 damn years with so much noise. And the way you tied your hair up, or the way you look as you sleep, I still think of memories we never got to keep. Cause I drive past your house now, thinking I love you. Give it a rest, there ain't no one above you. I used to love you, now I just hate you. Give it a week and I'll be saying I miss you.
I'm sitting in a lovely place, feels like hell, hurts like heaven treats me well. Lovely place, I'm sitting in a lovely place. I'm sitting in a lovely place, feels like hell, hurts like heaven treats me well. Lovely place, I'm sitting in a lovely place. I'm sitting in a lovely place, feels like hell, hurts like heaven treats me well. Lovely place, I'm sitting in a lovely place. I'm sitting in a lovely place, feels like hell, hurts like heaven treats me well. Lovely place, I'm sitting in a lovely place.
Bittersweet memories inside of my mind. Tell me where you've been, cause I'm not fine. Bittersweet memories inside of my mind. Tell me where you've been, cause I'm not fine. Bittersweet memories inside of my mind. Tell me where you've been, cause I'm not fine. Bittersweet memories inside of my mind. And tell me where you've been, cause I'm not fine.
I'm sitting in a lovely place, feels like hell, hurts like heaven treats me well. Place feels like hell, hurts like heaven treats me well. Lovely place, I'm sitting in a lovely place. I'm sitting in a lovely place, feels like hell, hurts like heaven treats me well. Lovely place, I'm sitting in a lovely place. I'm sitting in a lovely place.
There we go, and that was that. So, what did you think? Let us know. Put it down in the comments. If you've got good things to say about it, let us know. If you've got bad things to say about it, let us know. Either way, because any sort of publicity is good publicity, as they say.
Yeah, I can take the constructive criticism. Like, let me hear
it. Maybe on a part 2, maybe. Right. Okay. So we are now coming down to the nitty-gritty part of the interview, and you mentioned that you've watched a few of my shows before, so you kind of know where I'm going with this. So you know that some of the questions that I ask are going to be a little bit difficult, bit of a head scratcher, make you think, and your answer will depend on how the rest of the interview goes. So, are you ready for your first one?
Yeah, go for it, bro.
Okay. What's the most trouble that you have been in that's not illegal? I can't stress that enough. Not illegal, because I don't want cops coming at your door, because as we all aware, cops in America like to shoot first and ask questions later. So nothing illegal, nothing for the cops to come knocking on your door.
Okay. Most trouble I've been in that's not illegal. Shoot, dude. Shoot, that is a tough one. I don't like get into a lot of trouble, to be honest.
Yeah, huh?
Let's think.
You'd be surprised
I
how
don't
many
know.
times I hear that though. Everybody goes, "Oh, I don't like being in trouble," or "Oh no, I'm a good person. I don't get in trouble." And then a couple of minutes later, the most ridiculous fucking story I've ever heard.
Well, I mean, nobody likes being in trouble, so so I feel like it's a given. But dang, I might have to like throw it back to high school or something. Um, no, I could think of something. I could think of something. I swear. I haven't gotten in trouble in a very long time. I don't think, or like something that I can remember. Um, maybe. Shoot, dude, you put me on the spot. I cannot think.
That is the purpose of this show.
Let's
Is
see.
to spotlight the musician, artist, or band that I'm interviewing for this week. Is to put them on the spot. That is the purpose.
Dang, the most amount of trouble that I've gotten into. That's not illegal. Let's see. I don't know, bro. I mean, I maybe like I think in high school, I didn't go to the principal's office quite a bit, but I definitely used to get called in there like at least like 3 or 4 times a year because like some stupid shit me and my friends would do. But let me think. Dang.
I can circle back to it if you like.
Yeah, circle back to it, bro, because I'll have to think about that one.
All right, okay, I'll circle back to it. So you were mentioning earlier that obviously you've done a bit of performing, like over the last few years and all that. What has been your favorite song to perform and your least favorite song to perform?
Okay. Favorite song for me to perform personally is probably going to be my new single that comes out. I've only played it once, and maybe that's why it's my favorite. But it's more of an acoustic track. It's called Devil's Daughter, but I do a little bit of screaming vocals in that one, and I've never
Okay.
done that like on stage before. So that was a blast, and like it reciprocated well, and people loved it. So probably that song, or I really enjoy playing Drown. I love playing Drown. I think it's just a dynamic between like the super low verses and then just this extremely heavy hitting chorus just like comes off really well. So I love that one. Plus, like it's fun to have people like mosh to it. So I love being able to like curate that. But my least favorite song to play, I know my guitarist's least favorite song to play is "I Hope November Hurts for You Too" because like it's just a lot on his fingers. But not that he can't do it. He's a phenomenal guitar player. Shouts out Dawson. Love him. But my least favorite song to play is honestly probably "Lovely Place, Bittersweet." And more or less, I love the song. I love it.
I was just gonna say, you were just saying like about 5-10 minutes ago how much you love that song, and now you're saying that you hate performing it.
No, I do, but it's just because the verses are in such a low, not monotone, but they're in such a low voice um, that if the sound guy is not up to speed on like how things sound like naturally in the song, like if he hasn't listened to it prior, and this sounds like I'm being kind of a douchebag, but I promise I'm not. If he hasn't like listened to it prior, then like it's very hard for people to hear like what I'm saying or like what my dialect is coming off as like in the crowd. And I know that because I obviously have monitors in front of me. So trying to get that sound perfect at like any venue is hard. But
Yeah,
then the chorus
you're right.
sounds good.
Yeah, you're right. It did come off kind of douchey.
I promise I'm not. I promise I'm not. I love all my sound guys. I love my sound guys.
So, have you thought about an answer to the last question yet?
Honestly, it's probably the best thing I could think of. Wow, that's illegal. Never mind.
No, all right, okay, go for it. Because I just want a story now.
I don't know. I used to egg cars a lot when I was in high school, which I
That's
definitely
not
take
illegal.
back.
It's not really illegal. It's just more of a nuisance.
I would say it's like vandalism, but I don't know.
Not really, because the rain can wash it off.
Maybe not. But yeah, that was like definitely something that like me and my friends used to do in high school, like when we were bored. But that's probably the best I could think of, dude. I mean, I don't get into like a lot of like nefarious activities.
Well, it was
anymore.
it was a little bit disappointing. You know, I was expecting like a massive, wild fucking story, but
If I
Egging
had one, I'd
cars.
tell you, my friend.
Well, it still hasn't beaten the wildest story I've heard so far. And for people at home, if you've watched all of my episodes so far or listened to them, I think you kind of know which one I'm on about. It was when I interviewed Natty Snaps. His answer to that question had me in stitches. So, yeah. Okay, moving on. Where's your favorite place to perform then?
I'm here in town. There's a venue called Launchpad.
Right.
Shouts out Launchpad. One of my favorites. The sound guys there are always on point. It's a perfect little spot. Not too big of a venue, not too tiny of a venue. You can easily get about 200, 300 people in there and have like a really good show. But I've seen a lot of my favorite artists perform there. So like being able to perform there was just like kind of a big thing for me personally. So that's definitely my favorite spot. So shouts out Launchpad if anybody from Albuquerque is listening.
What about your least favorite?
Oof.
You don't have to give the name of the venue if you don't want to burn your bridge, or if the bridge has already been burned, give us the name.
Oof. There's a there's a venue also in Albuquerque. I did one show there, and it was just kind of a shit show. And for for lack of better terms, I just won't go into it. But yeah, like promotion was off. A lot of like ticket sales stuff. I didn't get paid. Like there's a lot of stuff that went down, and I was kind of just like, cool. I am never gonna play here again. So
You didn't get paid for it?
no, it was this big thing. So
Right, okay, now that right there, that pisses me the right off. I mean, you're an artist. You go out there, you create your music for everybody to listen to and enjoy. And it goes the same for all the creative people out there. You know, if you're in a venue and you're doing a show to showcase your talent, your music, your what you created out there to the people for them to enjoy, and you don't get paid for your efforts, then that place is fucking scum. That is scum. They should be closed down for misconduct and for just basically being shit cunts. And but that really
yeah,
pisses me off. When I actually hear that a lot about artists, bands, musicians going to perform somewhere and them not getting paid because there was a technicality. They didn't sell enough tickets or the venue wasn't as packed out as they thought it would be. So unfortunately they can't afford to pay them. If they knew that going in, why didn't they have a set price before you went in?
yeah.
Make it a standard.
I agree. I mean, and I'm not perfect either. There's probably like communication issues on my part too. But nonetheless, yeah, I won't be doing shows there anymore. And the whole band has just talked about that. And no, like, I don't want to like come off like I don't dislike anybody, but I just didn't appreciate the situation and how it was taken care of. So
Yeah. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. So, what are your thoughts on the music industry then, as it stands today?
as an indie artist, I think there's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities, and it's almost on you to do those things. Because I mean, anybody can find you, whether it be on TikTok, Instagram Reels, like Facebook, whatever. You can network wherever, whenever. I mean, I met you, and you live so far away from me. So, like, you have opportunities. You kind of have to find them. But that being said, as far as just being a musician in the music industry, you can't just be a musician anymore. Like, you can't just make music. Like, now you have to be a content creator, and now you have to like I watch TikToks and I'm like, all right, how can I spin this and like do it with my own twist and like how can I'm always constantly thinking about like what I could be doing for another video or like what I could be doing for a TikTok campaign or for like a promo release and like what's going to catch people's attention and what catches attention the most. And like I spend more time doing that than I do actually making music.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of opportunities, but it's easy to get burnt out right now.
Yeah. Because, like as you said, you've also got to be a content creator. You've also got to be your own brand ambassador. You've got to be your own brand manager. You've got to be your social media manager. You've got, there's some, and in some cases with independent artists, you've got to be your own manager as well to get you opportunities to go out
Yeah.
there and get discovered, to go places, go venues, and all that. So I can imagine
Yeah.
it is a lot of hard work. And as I'm sure a lot of people are aware, I work and talk with a lot of people, a lot of artists, a lot of musicians, and I know how much hard work it is. I'm not an artist myself. I mean, I can sing. I've got the voice of an angel when I sing. Uh, not to blow my own trumpet. But I can imagine the amount of hard work that goes into it, and I take my hat off to anyone out there who does all that process. I take my hat off to you because you are the true champions, really.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I mean, and like I said, it's not any knock on anything that's going on, because like it's so much easier. I think back like maybe like to when radio was like the only time that you could really get some sort of publicity for yourself, or like an article,
Yeah,
like that sort of stuff. You had to know people, like you had to know people to get on the radio, or like have someone write an article, like Rolling Stone or whatever it may be. But now, like I can put myself in front of an A&R on TikTok, and like I may not even be trying to do that. So it's just like knowing and having that mindset that like what you're working for is not in vain. If there's any musicians listening to this, like what you're working for is not in vain, and like it may feel like that some days, but just know that you are working towards something that you can vision, and that those videos that you make, or like those stories that you constantly post, like whatever it may be on like the terms of social media, is like not pointless, even though it is hard. But just know that you have to believe in yourself, like more than anything, as cliche as that is.
yeah. I understand where that coming from. I mean, obviously, I do the podcasts, and when I started doing the podcast, like at the date of this recording, it was like 6 months ago. I had my views were pretty decent. My views have kind of gone down a little bit, but now they're starting to slowly go back up. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a little bit of my own fault because I, my own fault. I'm terrible at marketing because that's the other thing. You got to be your own marketing manager as well. So I'm terrible at marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I forget about the episode that's going out last minute. I'm like, oh fuck, I better post about it last minute instead of building up for like the couple of days prior.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes I do forget, but my content's out there, so people are listening to it, people are watching it. It's starting to slowly go back up. But with what you do with music and all that, obviously I know it's different, but yeah, it's sort of similar as well in a way.
Like marketing and like being your own marketer and stuff like that, it's very easy to get lost in like what you have to do or what you've already done, or like just forgetting to do something, especially when your plate is already so full. Like I'm sure you work on a podcast, you record it, you edit it and everything, and you're like, okay, cool, like wipe the sweat off and like I'm done. But then it's like you're not done. Like you have
I
to
know.
start like marketing. Yeah, you have to start marketing. And the same goes for me too. So it's like I'll finish a song and like I'll upload it for streaming services and everything, and I'll like release the cover art and do whatever, like 3 or 4 weeks in advance. But like sometimes I'll forget to start posting 2 weeks before it's out, or like start making TikToks like 3 weeks before it's out and stuff like that. I'm like, dang, I really could have done better at this. And like you see like how things change as far as like release day goes, or like stream count, or like things of that nature. You can see the direct impact of like what you don't do
Yeah.
as opposed to like when you do.
I think a lot of people don't realize with when it comes to like marketing and promoting yourself, is obviously, as you said, it can be difficult because sometimes you can forget about certain things. You don't mean to, but you do. I mean, like for me, for instance, like, as you mentioned, I do this podcast, I record them myself, I do the editing myself, I publish them myself, but then I also co-run an independent music label over here in the UK, as well as working a full-time job, as well as being a husband, as well as being a father.
Yeah.
A lot of people like us, we have lives outside of what we do, so sometimes we do forget to do things.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things, to be honest. So don't give up
Yeah.
on us yet, people. Don't give up on us yet. We're still here. We're still trying to do shit. Just give us a little nudge to remind us what the fuck we're supposed to be doing.
and and it seems like we're both on top of it now. So I mean,
Well,
I definitely slip. I mean, we're human, right? We all like take our back steps every once in a while, but we're doing what we can.
yeah. So then, with following on to that last question, if there was something about the music industry that you had the power to change, what would it be and why?
I don't think songwriters get paid enough, and I definitely don't think that artists as a whole get paid enough for just streaming services. Um, you have to surpass so many like unfathomable streams on every single song you put out just to make like a decent living just from streams. And obviously, I know that musicians get a lot of their money from tour and from merch and things of that nature. Like you have to have multiple sources of income. But I mean, if songwriters and like streaming services would just pay more, I think that we'd be in a lot better position. Um, that being said,
See, I
go ahead.
completely agree with that. I completely agree with you on that. If the streaming services paid a bit more, I mean, I am probably in the minority where I say I don't mind paying more for my subscription to a streaming service if I knew that the artists were getting paid a bit more, if they were getting paid
Yeah,
closer to a fair amount. I would happily pay more on a streaming service subscription.
yeah,
I'm probably in the minority though, because a lot of people be like, well, no, I already pay like, what is it, like £10? I already pay £10 a month. I'm not paying any more. Fuck
mhm,
that. But
yeah. I mean, I would agree with you in that sense too. Like, if I had to pay like fit like an extra $5 a month or something, just so an artist could get like a certain, even if it wasn't like a crazy amount, but like even if they can just get paid a little bit more, like I would take an extra $5 out of my wallet. And maybe that's biased because I make music myself and get paid from that. But even before I started making music, I thought the same thing. So like I agree with you.
yeah. So how do you feel that the internet has impacted the music industry with what you do?
I have never made music without the internet, but I do know that a lot of people um, definitely had to adapt to it because it completely just flipped it on its head. Like I said, I mean, you went from just having radio time being like your biggest thing, or like getting in some like publishing company, or like having the ends with like an A&R or whatever it may be. Like there was only so few lanes to becoming big in the music industry, like back in time. Um, but now, like I said, man, the internet literally just changed everything. I mean, I could be in front of anybody at any point in time, and you have so many options, or so many leeways, or so many niches to get your music to like a certain directed audience, and then also at the same time simultaneously be working towards a different audience as well. So like
Yeah.
you can do whatever you want on the internet, which is scary and it's overwhelming. But there's definitely a huge opportunity for any creative right now. That being said, it is very oversaturated, and like everyone wants to be a musician, everyone wants to be a painter, and things of that nature, which
Everyone
is
wants
not
to
a
be a
bad thing.
podcaster.
I mean, and I'm sure you know that too. Like a podcasting is a hard space to break into, just as
Yeah.
much as music, man. So that's probably my 2 cents on it. But I definitely think that the internet has a lot of positives that come with it, but there's also a lot of negatives that come with it too. So
Yeah. So we're coming up near the end of the show now, so I've only got like a couple more questions for you, and then I can let you go on your merry, merry, merry way. Can you tell us something about yourself that your fans probably wouldn't know about you?
um hmm, something silly. I played lacrosse in high school for a long time, or I played soccer for like 12 years. So sports used to be a big part of my life for a long time. Um, but maybe one that is more on the serious side, I would say that I don't know, man. I'm just very grateful for what I get to do, and I think it's a privilege. And I am very close-hearted to the people that support me. And I think if I could tell them anything, it would just be thank you. But something about me personally, it would just be that I put a lot of like what I or who I am into what I make, and
Would it be
I
that
think
that
that
pencil mustache was done for a dare?
I understand you got a nice mustache, all right. um, damn, that was a blow, bro. But man, you got me. I'll take it though. I'll take it. I'll take my Ellen walk. Um, dang. Um, now you got me all off track.
I've been waiting to say that all interview. I've been waiting for a chance to say that. So,
You're good, bro. I know it's just all out of laughs. But don't know, something about me. I think that my music is kind of just like a direct reflection of like what I make. So if you like really think you know me or like you don't know me, then listen to my music and you'll be able to kind of like see what I've been through, what I've not been through. And I'm very open to questions, so please feel free to reach out to me at any point in time. Like I love having conversations with people who support me or even those who don't. Like I don't really care. I just love people. So
Well, speaking about questions, that actually brings me to my next one, which I started this a few weeks ago when I interviewed Jason from Blame It on the Dog. I brought it back for Bitch an Hour, and I'm bringing it back again now because I quite like it. It was so yeah. If you could ask me a question, what would you ask me?
mm, who are you outside of this?
Who am I outside of this? I think I have already answered that one when I said I'm an amazing godlike person.
Okay. You got confidence? It's not a bad thing, man.
Who am I outside of this? Well, I've already mentioned, I work a full-time job. I'm a chef, a husband. I'm a
Heck
father.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, I'm a pretty down-to-earth guy. I like to chat with people. That's why I do this podcast as well, because I like to talk
Yeah.
with different people every week and have a bit of general banter. You know, I like the back and forth I have with my guests because it actually excites me when I'm like, okay, who am I talking to this week? What can I find to
Yeah.
take the piss out of them for this week, and just to
Yeah.
see how they take it. I like to push people with my humor, just to
Yeah.
see how far I can push them.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I hear that, bro. I think that's good, man. The only other question I'd probably ask is like, shoot, I don't know. Well, who's your favorite artist of like all time, or like what got you into music?
Who's my ultimate favorite artist? I have a couple of favorite
Mm-hmm.
artists, and if everybody saw my post on social media, on my Facebook, Instagram, and my Twitter, I've already listed the people I want on the show in the future. Those are my favorite artists, and to recap, be the Lax, the Moonshine Bandits, Kung Fu Vampire, Hard Target, Nick Canyon, Bubba Sparks. Absolutely fucking love to have them on the show. I'm massive fans of them.
Heck
Uh,
yeah.
but that got me actually really into liking music. I think the first proper scene I kind of fell into was Insane Clown Posse with the Juggalo scene. I
Mm-hmm.
really love that shit. I still listen to a lot of ICP stuff. Uh, yeah, I've got quite a lot. It's mostly country rap though. I kind of vibe with these days.
Yeah, man. You should I have a good friend that I just did a show with recently. His name is Cowboy Killer. Um, but if you, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but
Not yet.
he was,
I do the follows after, just so everybody's aware. And for any future guest that comes on, don't badger me about following your social medias and all that, because I follow you after I've done the interview. After I've done the interview and I've published it, then I do all the follows.
yeah, no, you're good, bro. But I was gonna recommend him. He goes by Cowboy Killer on all platforms, but he makes a lot of like, it's a very refreshing fuse or like fusion of like his southern roots, but then also he's like very rooted and like founded in like hip hop. He's a hip hop head, so you get to see the dichotomy of it both, and then also see some like rock influence as well. So phenomenal artist. If anybody is listening, Cowboy Killer, great guy. But for you specifically, I think you'd enjoy him. So you should
Okay,
check him out.
I'll definitely check them out then. I definitely will. Right, do you have any more questions for me, or
Um,
you can have one
nah,
more?
dude.
One more, because I like you and your stupid mustache. You can have one more question.
Dang, dude, twice, bro. Um,
Your
one
pencil strip
more.
mustache.
Look, dude, it's getting there. All right, we're growing it.
When?
One day,
When are you growing it? Is that when you hit
dude.
puberty?
Once I get it, we'll come on the next show. We do
Right,
this
okay.
again. um, no, I think my last question would probably be. I was trying to think of a good one to end this off with. Where'd you get the title from?
Where did I get the title from? I believe I answered this question when I had Bitch and Arrow on, but if you didn't see that or hear or listen to that episode, then I'll recap now. As I mentioned to you earlier, Sam, I also co-run an independent music label over here in the UK. The label is called Madness Records. So the podcast is my own project from that label, hence the name A Wee Touch of Madness, because it's a little bit of Madness Records, but it's my project. Like the artists on our label, the music is their project. That's their baby. That's what they do. So the podcast is my baby. It's my project. It's what I do. So that way I can feel as if I'm contributing towards the label as well.
Yeah. Dang, dude. Well, I love that, man. Okay, congrats on like the podcast, but then also just the label itself. Like that's big things, dude. So
thank you.
Respect for that. Yeah, of course, man.
Thank you. A lot of hard work, but hopefully one day it'll be all worth it.
It will be. Not hopefully, it will be.
Right, Sam, I've got 2 more questions for you, and then that's it. I know I said that earlier, but I promise you literally 2 more questions.
Dope. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Do you sing in the shower? And if you do, what do you sing?
Oh, dude, I sing the hell out in the shower, dude. All the time. All the time. Unless I'm like sick or something. But like, no, I love doing that. Recently what I've been singing is, let me see, dude. Let me pull up my receipts of what I've been listening to. I've listened to a lot of Real Friends. So I was today in the shower I sang I've Given Up on You by Real Friends from the bottom of my heart. Love that song. And then let's see. Ohio is for Lovers by Hawthorne Heights. I've been jamming that song for a while too. So mainly just a lot of stuff that I could just like belt. I listen to a lot of Chili Peppers in the shower too. But just stuff I enjoy singing. I just like to sing in the shower.
Fair enough. Well, have you had fun doing this with me today? And would you like to come back on later at a later date?
Yeah, no, of course, bro. Again, thank you so much for the opportunity. But yeah, of course, bro. I would love to come back on if you would be willing to have me. But yeah, I had a lot of fun today. So
awesome stuff. That's what I like to hear. That's it. Kiss my ass, because I make good content. That's it. Well, everybody, you heard it there. Sam, or Savings as he goes by as the stage name, he wants to come back on the show. So you at home, you know what that means. The next time I get him on the show, it's the same rules for every single guest. The most ridiculous, the most messed up, the most fucked up question you can think of, I want to know. Either put them down in the comments or leave me a voice message on Spotify. Let's try and throw this guy off his game. Let's try and make him a little bit uncomfortable, because I'm trying, but a lot of my guests are now starting to watch my show, so they're kind of expecting knowing what to expect. So it's getting a little bit more harder to make them uncomfortable. Try as I might. So I need a bit of help from all of you at home. In the meantime, I used this sign off recently before, so I'll use it again because I thought it was brilliant. So credit to Beth from Bitch and Hour for this sign off. I'm using it throughout now, and that is, stay sexy and don't get murdered. I'll see you later.
Hey, it's me. I know we haven't talked in a while, but I miss you.
Walking away feeling empty, I'm on my toes again. Light a cigarette in the backseat and tell my friend